That should be the recording started now.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to today's meeting of the Regulatory Functions Board. Could I ask the clerk just to run through the members present and to cover off any apologies, please?
Yes, convener, good morning members. Today we have present yourself, the convener, Councillor McNaughton. We're also joined by Councillors Neil Graham, Councillor Lisa Marie Hughes, Councillor Janice MacDonald, Councillor Cathy McEwen and Councillor Bruce McFarlane. I have received apologies from Councillor Andy Steele.
Okay, thank you. And I see Councillor Doig is having trouble connecting. He just sent a message there, so she may join us later. Do we have any?
I don't think I said Councillor Mullen.
Okay, yes, I see Councillor Mullen here. Do we have any declarations of interest or transparency statements? I don't see any indicated, so we'll move straight on with item 1A, which is granted late hours catering licence. Do we have Mr. Amir?
Yes, Madia Amir is waiting in the lobby, so I'll go ahead and admit her now.
Yes, please.
Good morning, that's you admitted into the meeting. Can you confirm you can hear us okay, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Just for completeness, Councillor Doig has now joined the meeting as well.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. It's Councillor John McNaughton here. I'm the convener to the board, and I'm just going to pass over to Douglas Campbell, who's a legal advisor to the board, and Douglas will explain the procedure that we'll be following. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Yes, good morning, Ms. Mayor. Just to confirm, you've been invited to the Regulatory Functions Board this morning in relation to an application for a new late hours catering licence. You've obviously been sent a letter inviting you to the meeting dated 9th October 2025, and there's a few matters that have resulted in the matter being brought to the councillors today. First of all, the application seeks hours that are out with policy. Just to be clear, on Sunday nights, the late hours catering policy states that we would normally allow up until midnight on Sunday to Thursday evenings, and then until 2 AM on the Friday and Saturday evenings. In other words, the following morning of the Saturday and Sunday on those nights. And you have obviously sought something different from that. Just specifically, you've actually asked for the Friday till the Sunday. You've only asked from Monday to Thursday till midnight, but you've asked for the Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights, if I understand your application properly, until 2 AM. Now, is that correct, or is that an error in your part, Ms. Amir?
Yes.
It is correct, or it is an
Yes.
error?
It's
It is correct.
correct. Yeah, I want a weekend long times. Yeah.
Okay, so you want the Friday and Saturday, which is within policy, and the Sunday,
Okay.
which is actually
So
out
then,
with. That's what
okay,
you're looking.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
we'll come back. We'll come back to detail. I just want to be clear. That's what you're asking for.
Okay, okay, that's fine.
So that's fine. The other things that have been flagged in relation to application, first of all, the council's got a policy in relation to licensing applications that for new grants, that a criminal record check from your previous country be produced. If you were born abroad or lived abroad anywhere outside the UK for more than 6 months, and so that would normally be a verified document within the last 6 months from the previous country or countries, and also in those circumstances, we require evidence that you've got entitled to work in the UK, which there's obviously information that's been sent to you about that, and that's information you've not produced. So you'll have your chance to address those matters as to whether you think you should be made an exception to that policy. The final matter, however, I probably want to raise this as a preliminary issue with you, because we've also highlighted that you haven't produced a certificate of compliance confirming that you put a display notice up at the premises in a place where the public could conveniently read it. and we wrote to you on the 29th of August 2025 asking you to produce that certificate, which I understand has not been given to us. So, I mean, the board would be entitled to require you to display it before granting the application, and may not be prepared to grant your application in the absence of that. So
No,
perhaps
sorry,
you could.
Yeah, I displayed that notice on the specific dates, but the dates told me I put that on my window, like or outside of like my takeaway window. So I displayed that notice, and I
Right.
sent the photos to the email.
Yeah, you may have sent photos, but you're meant to provide at the end of the 21 days a certificate saying that you've put it up to us, and
Yes.
that's what we wrote to you on the 29th of August. To my knowledge, Ms. Amira, we've not received that from you.
I don't know, but I send these emails because I put the 21 days, and I mentioned that I send the email and I do all what the lady told me in the email.
Okay, I don't know, convener. If you get any, I mean, obviously, I'll message the team just to confirm that. But
Okay, thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ms. Amir, clearly we need that certificate, and if you have sent it, if you say you've complied, but we still need the certificate for the officer's paperwork. I'm going to give you the chance just to speak to the members about your hours of operating, why we should make an exception to a policy in terms of the hours, and anything else that you want to raise with the councillors.
Okay.
This is your chance, Ms. Amir, just to speak to the councillors in support of
you
your
asked me
application.
why I want the time.
Yes.
Okay, so the business are these days are really bad. We didn't earn a lot, it's really bad situation right now. So everyone has that. My next door has. So if I have that, I think I have the more customers, or I can earn more. Like I don't earn this time because I'm on stake. I might be the close my takeaway because of I didn't have an earning from my takeaway. So it's all the things are on stake at that time because because of the recession, or I don't know what's going on this year. The takeaway is really in bad condition and going down. So I might be some point I should close that takeaway because I don't have money to spend on it. So that's why I need the time. So I might be increase my sales, or I can that's why my main. And my next door, he has the same. And if I don't have the time, I can't open like 1 minute above on that time. So that's why I applied for that. It's a competition, and I can earn then.
Other people have a license.
Okay, that covers your reasons for wanting the extra hours, and we'll consider that. The other issues, certificate of compliance, you say that you have sent in, we can maybe get the officers
I will
to
send you. I had that, and I will send you.
Okay. Douglas, was there something else about the right to work?
Well, that hadn't been produced. I mean, that might be something you want to hear from Ms. Amir about. What I can say in relation to this application, there was my team have checked and they can't trace receipt of any compliance certificate being sent in. So that would be the certificate that basically says they have completed the display for the 21 days, and they sign it and they send it back into us. I don't know if Ms. Amir wants to email in what she says she sent.
Yeah,
Which
if
might be
I check
clarified.
my email box, if I have, I will resend you that email as well.
So I don't know where that leaves the board though, convener, whether you want to recall it, or do you want to hear on the other issues just now about, the right to work and the criminal record check from abroad?
Yeah, that was I'm confusing about that. So you think so I will go to the embassy and took that document from them, or I stamp that? Is it correct? Because I don't know where I will get that document.
Douglas, could you maybe just give some guidance for Ms. Amir on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, we've sent to you with your your paperwork, the full policy on it. It's obviously, if you think there's a difficulty providing the documentation, then the board will consider whether to disapply the policy. But it's really for you to address. We've obviously sent you a copy of the policy report in relation to this, which you just allow me a brief moment.
Okay.
And it's summarised in your letter, I should say, Ms. Amir. But it, you know, and you were sent a copy of the policy and the appendices to that, which is the report of the 1st November 2012 and the minute of that date as well.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add, Ms. Amir, at this stage?
Yeah, I will provide you that, but I don't know where I will go to get the document. You know, I think I might go to the embassy to get the document. That's the confusion.
Okay, Mr. Campbell's just giving you some indication about, you know, the written stuff. I'm going to open it to questions from the councillors at this stage. Are there any questions from members? We don't see any. As I mean, the issue of the hours of opening, I mean, the concern for us as councillors and why we've restricted hours is that we have people who stay in the locality, and I think it might concern us if we were opening up the hours, you know, the disturbance that would create. So, and you haven't really given us much to go on other than, you know, it's for for your business. So I'm not really convinced on that. The issue of clearly the certificate of compliance and the issues of right to work, etc., can be dealt with in the interim, I would have thought. But at this stage, I don't think we're in a position to grant, or certainly not in a position to grant. I'm minded to continue this one to give you a chance to maybe look at the certificate of compliance, the right to work, and the declaration on convictions. And you might want to bear in mind that what I've said about the hours of opening, that I can't really see much justification in that at the moment. But is there anything else you want to say before we take a decision? I'm going to be suggesting to the fellow councillors that we continue this one to a future meeting. Is there anything you want to add just before we take that decision?
Yes, because you know, I email apply compliance mean gas and electricity certificate you are talking about.
Yeah, well, the officers can maybe help you with that, but if there's nothing else that you want...
I had these, and I emailed the health and like department. I have these. If you said I can provide you that now, or I email you, so you know, it's my right to increase the hours because I'm struggling, and you know, I'm new in the business. I just started and first time, and I don't know about the things and about the, you know, the check. Like, you know, the criminal record, I didn't know about these because I told them I show them, you know, my BRP was like, you know, the UK government finished that, and I have my code and
thanks, Ms. Amir. I think clearly the officers can give you some assistance with that, but at this stage it's councillors, and we're who are required to take a decision on it. Given that what we've heard from you, I'm going to move to my fellow councillors that we continue this one to a future meeting, and hopefully you'll be able to...
but you know, it's if I didn't get, I think it's unfair for me because, you know, I'll lose the customer and I can't earn. So my neighbor is... Sorry?
I hear what you say, Ms. Amir. You've been given your chance to speak to the members, and we've to move to a decision at this stage.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
So I would move that we continue this one to a future meeting to allow Ms. Amir hopefully to address some of the issues. Members agreed?
Thank you. So can I leave the meeting now?
If you can hang on a second. Douglas?
Thanks, just I suppose I should confirm, so our next meeting of the RFB is the 14th of January, so we've just got time to continue this because application requires a decision by the 20th. So the next board's just in time, so you do have the opportunity to continue it.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, you can leave the meeting now, but you take the opportunity to contact the officers and try and resolve some of your issues, and it'll be back before this board in January.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
So kind of you.
You can leave the meeting now.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, that takes us on to item 1B. And do we have anyone in for this one?
Convener, the police are with us for this application. I'm not quite sure which of the people who have joined are actually the applicant for this application, so bear with me. I'm probably going to have to admit people and just see who they are because the names are so
Sorry, it
Yes.
was
similar.
Shafiqa Mohammed, because that was the one that you spoke to before.
Yeah, it was. I'm just not sure if the Mohammadi Ahmad one is also in connection with this one, so I'm just going to admit Mohammed Ahmadi first, if that's okay, just to check if they
Yes,
are.
you carry on, Donna.
Good morning, I've admitted you to the meeting. Can you give me your name, please? You're on mute.
Hello, good morning. My name is Ahmed Mohammadi. I'm the interpreter today for my mom.
Great, thank you. So is this for the Sicilianos application?
That's for Siciliano's Pizza, 53C High Street.
That's great, thank you. Convener, I'm just going to admit the police officers and the applicant for the application now as well.
Thank you.
Good morning, Police Scotland and Shafiqa Mohammed. That's you all admitted into the meeting. Can you all confirm that you can hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Thank you. We're joined by Inspector Fiona Tyers and also Sergeant Kevin Craig for Police Scotland.
Okay, good morning, folks. I'm Councillor John McNaughton. I'm the convener to the board, and I'm just going to pass over to Douglas Campbell, who's the legal advisor to the board, and Douglas will explain the procedure that we'll be following. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Yes, I'll obviously explain it in short chunks so that the interpreter can relay the information on. Convener.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of this application, we've cited Grill Kebab Express Limited Sicilianos in respect of this new late hours catering licence application. In relation to the application, there is a letter of objection from Police Scotland. Sorry, letter of objection from Police Scotland, which relates to the hours.
Yeah.
And in relation to the application, there is also highlighted in the letter inviting you to the meeting to the fact that you've asked for hours that are out with the policy of the board, because you've asked in particular for on Friday and Saturday nights until 3:30 AM the following morning, whereas the policy hour is 2 o'clock in the morning.
ما مشني باش ما بقيم خذي أنا دو میگه که پلیس اسکاتلند میگه objection لیتر به ما روان کرده بود میگه قانون پلیس اسکاتلند قانون کنسولی است مثلا تا 2 بجه شب باشه اما خودت به لیسنس که اپلای کردی تا 3:30 بجه است میگه یک ساعتی است که یعنی بیش از ساعت قانونی است که ما به خودت مثلا ما چیزی که در قانون داریم خود بیش از اون تقاضا کردی. Okay, she understood.
Just to confirm as well, so I've indicated that, the policy hours and the board is entitled to seek conformity. We'll always consider making exceptions in appropriate cases. But the other matter that has been highlighted today is the premises that are applied for are also already covered by another licence in somebody else's name, which is still valid at least for the next couple of days and could potentially be renewed. So that's the other matter that the board will need to hear about today.
میگه که یک لیسنس دیگه است لیسنس دمی آدرس فعلی و چند روز دیگه او تمام میشه و شاید تو لیسنس دوباره رینیو شود و ما میخوایم که شما دوباره زی بر ما بگی مثلا چرا دو لیسنس در یک آدرس است.
Okay.
So give me just a moment to go through the other kind of things. So procedurally, what will happen today is I'm the legal advisor to the board. The man who spoke a moment ago was Councillor McNaughton. He is the convener. The decision makers today will be the convener and the other councillors who are on the call. There's a mixture of councillors and council officers on the meeting today. So what will happen is I'll ask you just in a moment if there are any preliminary points to be raised, and that really is whether there's kind of a lack of understanding as to why you're here, or you think there's something not right in the letter that you've been sent inviting to the meeting, or something procedural. It's not about obviously replying to the police, because we'll get back to that. After that, we'll clarify if there's no procedural issues to be raised, then the police would speak first about what's in their letter, and then there'll be a chance for the company to speak. Obviously, the interpreter will assist with that and say why the license should be granted and why an exception should be given to policy, and also to address the other matters that I've said. And then there'll be a chance for the other councillors and the convener to ask any questions either of the police or of the company. And then there'll be a chance for the police to summarise what they've said and not raising anything new at that time. And there'll be a chance then for the company to have their say as well. At the end of that procedure, the board might go into a private meeting to discuss what has been said and to consider it. And if they do that, then they will ask both yourself and your son to leave, and they will ask the police to leave as well, but they will bring you both back in for the decision to be made. And if I could just also clarify that once that's relayed to Mrs. Mohammed, that is understood.
میگه که چیزی که میگه ما فعلا براتون میگیم، ما قوانین ما رو میخوانیم، قوانین قنصل بر شما میخوانیم، پلیس هم ابجکشن خود میخوانه، چیزی که در خط خود نوشته کرده و بعد از او که ما خلاص کنیم پلیس خلاص کرد، باز ما به شما چانس میدیم که شما مثلا چیزایی که داره یا گفتایی داره به ما بگید و بعد از او ما در پرایوت میتینگ میریم، شما پلیس بیرون میری، شما رو بیرون میکشیم. هر وقتی که ما آماده بودیم دوباره شما رو میخوایم باز بیاید میتینگ، باز بعد از او ما چی میکنیم؟ براتون دیسیژن میکنیم.
درسته.
She understood.
So before we move on and I pass back to the convener to hear from the police, can I confirm that not only is it understood, but there's no preliminary issues to be raised?
میشه که ما چی کنم که آیا مثلا کدام چیزی هست که میخوای خود بگی، مثلا کدام گفتنی داری؟
مثلا گفتنی درباره چی آقا خاله؟
یعنی درباره مثلا قبل از اینکه ما قانون ما رو بخوایم در قانون درباره قانون یا کدام گفتنی داری؟
نه خاله بکنم قانون خدا، ما به قانون یا پایبند هستیم، اول یا بخوانم باز ما میگیم گفتنی همه.
نه تو نگو. So she's saying, I don't have any issue at the moment, but I would like to have my saying after you're finished.
Well, sorry. What I explained, what normally happens is the police get to speak, and then a response. You would only come in at this point if there was something procedural to be raised before we hear from the police. So, are you happy to leave that then until after the police have
yes, she's happy.
spoken? Yes.
Yeah, she's happy.
Thank you. Convener?
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, could we hear from Police Scotland? Inspector Tyers, could you give the police report, please?
Thank you, Convener. If it's in order for your honours, I'll read the letter that has been submitted by police. I refer to the above application for grant of late hours catering licence and intimate that in terms of section 3.1 of Schedule 1 of the Civic Government Scotland Act 1982, I wish to make the following representation in relation to the application. So, as discussed, this application relates to the grant of late hours catering licence for premises at Unit C, 53 High Street, Paisley, with the hours requested as Sunday to Thursday, 11 p.m. to 12 midnight, Friday and Saturday, 12 midnight to 3:30 a.m. The application has been processed by the Police Service of Scotland, and I can confirm there are no police objections to the application in principle. Police Scotland does, however, take issue with the hours applied for, in particular the 03:30 hours closing time requested for Friday and Saturdays. Your Honours will be aware that Renfrewshire's current late hours catering policy hours are 11 p.m. to 12 midnight, Sunday to Thursday, and 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. The applicant has also requested that the hours commence from 12 midnight on Friday and Saturday, and it may be that Your Honours may wish to clarify if these hours are correct, or if the applicant will be closing between the hours of 11 p.m. and midnight on these days. Late night food takeaway establishments can be focal points for crime and disorder, particularly at weekends when patrons are both numerous and more likely to be under the influence of alcohol. Police Scotland believes that to allow such establishments to open later than is currently the case would therefore extend the potential for such crime and disorder and place a strain on police resources. Police Scotland therefore respectfully suggests that, if granted, the licence be limited to the aforementioned policy hours, as to grant the licence until 3:30 a.m. would risk setting a precedent that other late night catering establishments might seek to follow, which could have a significant impact on crime and disorder in the early hours, both in Paisley Town Centre and elsewhere in Renfrewshire. Your Honours, it should be noted that there's currently late hours catering licence in place for these premises. LHC 132 refers, held under another company and with an expiry of the 31st of October 2025, which permits the licence holder to trade between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. We respectfully request that the decision be taken, that should the decision be taken to grant this application, then the current licence be surrendered or revoked. I am unable to confirm the existence of any foreign offence in respect to the applicant. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Inspector. Mr. Mohammadi, through you, would you like to present the case for to cover why we should consider making an exception to the hours, and also the issue about the other licence that on the premises?
Convener, could I possibly just come in briefly before that happens?
Sure.
Just to highlight to members the issue that within the police letter about the hour between 11 and 12 midnight was resolved. It is from that was an error and has been clarified on that basis. So that if the application was granted, it would cover the period and was amended to 11 o'clock, which is the start of the hours catering hours. Convener, it might be worthwhile just to get Mr. Mohammadi to confirm to the applicant, although the police letter was read in full, so that to make sure that she understands that what position was.
میگه که چیزایی که پلیس برای خودت گفت خودت فهمیدی قبل از این پلیس خطاب خودت هم روان شده بود و فعلا هم چیزی گفته خودت فهمید گفته هشه.
بله من فهمیدم بله.
Yeah, she understood everything, although she also received another letter beforehand, so she's aware of the police saying.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mohammadi. Through you again, this is opportunity just to address the board in respect of why we should consider the change in the hours, or the extension in the hours, and secondly, primarily the issue of the second licence on the premises.
Okay. میگه باید خودتون با ما توضیح بدی که چرا مثلا اولا پیش یعنی قبل از یعنی مثلا بیشتر از ساعت 2 چون قانون تا ساعت 2 است بیشتر از چرا مثلا میخوای خطاب کنی و دوم که بر ما بگویی که مثلا لایسنس دومی که داره اوردی او چی میشه.
اوکی به خاطر ازی مثلا میگه که چرا میخوای برای یعنی لیت اپلای کنی لیسانس در کل هفته که است در کل هفته که است دکان کلان کویت است اما 2 روز آخر هفته که است یعنی فرایدی ساتردی که
حالا که درباره چی بگو اول لایسنس فعلی بگو درست.
لایسنس فعلی رو بچین لایسنس فعلی رو من
دانشمند. Okay. So she would like to explain about the existing license, which is currently in the same premises. Basically, this is a company will be closing down as soon as possible because the license expiry would be on 31st of October 2025. And if the second license is granted, then this will be currently, the company itself will be closed and the license won't be exist anymore. Because this company was under my dad's name, Haider Mohammadi, and Haider Mohammadi is ready to surrender the company. As Shafiq Mohammed said, if the second license would be granted, the first license would be terminated.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mohammadi. That covers that issue. What about the issue of the hours?
And issue of the hours, she's saying although we're aware of the opening hours and closing hours, which is mentioned on the website, and as you have said earlier on, but she would like to she would like to request that, because through the whole day, throughout the weekdays, the business is very quiet and they can't afford to manage. The only time which would be available and which would be perfect would be the weekends. And in the last few years, as they had the license, there wasn't any issue with any crime going on. But she would like to request 3:30 because that would change in the business income, and she's also afford to pay for the groceries and stuff. Although she is aware that most places do not have it after 2 o'clock, but she again requests if she can have it after 2 o'clock, because the business is very quiet and she can't afford the business. She can't afford to run the business at the moment. Once they had another license beforehand, the company and the business was very quiet.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to open it to questions from any of the councillors for either the police or Mr. Mohammadi.
Okay.
Don't see any indicated. Councillor Doig.
Thank you. Can the police confirm or not that there haven't been any incidences at the business as they're claiming at this time?
Your Honour, I can't confirm regarding the premises per se without going back and looking and reviewing any incidents surrounding the premises, but the checks have been done on the applicants, and as we say, we have no objection in principle to the particular applicant or premise. It's more the policy aspect of it, of the extension of hours, which then could possibly open the floodgates for more applications of such a nature, and it's more the prolonging of people in the town centre area around about late night opening premises when they're under the influence that does extend the need for police resources in the town centre or the surrounding areas because of associated disorder. May not result inside the premises, but it's the wider picture that it's a policy decision for yourselves, Your Honours.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Inspector. I don't see any further questions from councillors. I think at this stage we'll move to summing up. Could I ask Inspector, is there anything you want to add in terms of summing up?
Nothing further to add, just to reiterate that the objection itself is not in particular to the individual or the individual premises. It's more about the extension of the hours beyond the current policy hours, which could have a knock-on effect in the wider area. Thank you. Okay, and again through you, Mr. Mohammadi, would you like to sum up?
Convener, could I possibly just check again if the applicant understood that with the interpreter, both the submission from the police on the question from Councillor Doig and the further closing statement from the police, just to make sure that the applicant knows what's been said and then is able to address those in our closing submission?
Yeah, thank you. I was going to explain it to her, so I'm going to explain to her. Okay, Mora make police make more person kadem میگه از پلیس پرسان کن که مثلا کدام اتفاق افتاده، چون میگن که مثلا بیشتر کرایم یا به خاطر اتفاق میفته و این چیزا. میگه که کدام اتفاق افتاده در خود پرمیسز یا در خود شخص در دکان باشه. باز بعد از او پلیس کانفرم کرد که نه، کدام اتفاق شخصا نافتاده. ما مثلا وقتی که ما میخوایم ما مثلا قانون ما رو میخوایم بگوییم که بیشتر از 2 باز نباشه، به خاطر کمیونیتی است، نه به خاطر خود شخص باشه. کدام اتفاق چیز داخل دکان نافتاده مثلا یادم محلش باشه، ولی ما به خاطر که مثلا میخوایم سیف باشه انوایرمنت، از این خاطر ما هیچ میکنیم. میگیم که یه چیزی است که ما بیشتر از فکر کنیم، بیشتر از پرمیسش فکرش میکنیم. فهمیدی؟
درسته سوکر بچه.
Yes, she understood. کدام چیزی از میخوای بگی برای زیا؟
گفتنی می از خالد که من خواهش که زیاد دارم، فقط لطفاً هم کوشش کنن که لیسانس بر ما بتن از ساعت مثلا 3 تا 3 و نیم، چون که بیشتر در ویکند که هست اوج نایت کلاب هست، چون نایت کلاب هست به خاطر اوج بیزی میشه در ویکند. دلیلش هم اینمی است، یکی از دلیلش اینمی است که بیزیش ده است که نایت کلاب هست، به خاطر از این ما میخوایم که لیسانس برم.
ایره نباید میگفتی، خاله گفتی اوکی. خب به خاطر این میخوای بگی.
بله خاله.
So she wants to say, because the only thing I'm asking for more than what's being provided, it's because there's a nightclub nearby and they close at 3 o'clock. That's where we get more of our customers. And as you have said, we do not only think about the premises or the individual itself, we also think about the community. In the last few years, we've been there, nothing happened, and police patrols are always around the city center, are always around the premises areas. So any crime or anything never happened outside the premises. So I would like to say, if you can please grant the application until 3:33. Sorry, it's 3:30. And she also said we are aware of some other places have had this license before, and that's why we also kindly request if it can be granted over the asked hours, over 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. I think at this stage, unless then of the council's wish a recess, I'm not proposing to take a recess at this stage. If I could just ask Douglas for clarification in terms of the issue of the second licence. We've heard that licence will be surrendered or given up in a couple of days' time. Is there a requirement, if we're minded to grant a licence in this case, would we put a condition on that, or is it just sufficient to let it lapse?
You couldn't, convener, because as I understand the position, that licence is held not by this company but somebody else. So we couldn't put a condition on a licence for this company that somebody else surrender their licence. So it's not something that we could do. I appreciate from what's been said by applicant's son in translating the submission that there appears to be a family connection with the other company that was involved, and that essentially I think you've been asked to take it on trust, but it's problematic if you've got 2 licenses, convener, as to where the lines of responsibility lie. So either, there isn't a legal reason specifically in the Civic Government Scotland Act that says you can't grant it, but nonetheless it could cause issues if that doesn't happen. It really comes down to whether members are comfortable with what's been said in that regard, convener, or whether you want to continue the matter till the other licence have expired.
Yeah, given it's just a couple of days or whatever, I'm minded to take that issue on trust. Turning to the other issue about the extended hours, I'm not convinced, given that we have responsibilities and indeed the councillors encourage town centre living. I'm not convinced that opening the hours up or changing the policy on the hours is justified at this stage. So I'm minded to move that we grant the licence, just subject to the standard policy hours. Are there any other views from members?
No.
Okay, in that case, I would move that, and members agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, I'll just take a pause here. Mr. Mohamedy, do you want to just convey that to your mother?
اوکی مادر میگه که ما چیزی که فکر میکنیم مثلا 3:30 خوب نیست چون به خاطر قانون است، به خاطر مثلا سیفتی مردم است. اگر هم تا ساعت 2 باشه بهتر است. ایره خود چه فکر میکنی؟
آخر من با قانونشون من احترام دارم، من خودم میفهم، یعنی رسپیک میگم قانونشون، اما اگه یا جورش کنن تا ساعت 3:30 بسیار خوب میشه، چون که واقعا ما او را نیاز داریم. تا 3:30 هم خوب است. یعنی امیال که ما مثلا تا ساعت 2 لیسانس هست اصلا یعنی فکر که مزه ویکدی واری هست. کویت هست، یعنی تو به چیز نیست، اما تا 3:30 اگه باشه 3:30 باشه و بهتر است. در حالی که تا ساعت 2 هست که هیچ کدام مثل ویکدی واری هست، هیچ فرقی نداره. ویکند و ویکدی یک چیزه.
اوکی.
ما مثلا پیسه برق و آب و گاز و کرایش رنتش بالاخره بتونیم بکشیم از خود دکانه.
Okay. She would like to explain a few things, if that's okay.
No, sorry, we've actually taken the decision. All I'm asking you to do is to convey that decision. I'm going to pass it back to Douglas, Douglas Campbell, who will just wind up for this item. Douglas?
Thanks, Convener. Yeah, just to confirm to you both that the application for the licence being granted but restricted to the policy hours, as is indicated, the board's entitled to seek consistent with the policy, but always has to consider requests for exemption, and has considered what's been said today, and has made the decision not to grant the exception to the policy on hours, but has granted the application. As explained by the convener. That actually concludes the hearing today, and basically parties are free to disconnect from the meeting.
Okay, that's you, Mr. Mohamedy, and your mother can leave the meeting now.
Okay.
Okay, and Councillor Kuhn, did you want in?
Yeah, it's just to ask a question. I didn't want to ask it because we'd actually got to the summing up stage there.
Convener, sorry, can I just interject at the moment? Are we finished with the police officers? Are we okay for them to leave the meeting just now?
Yes, I don't think they're in for the next item, so thank you, Inspector and Sergeant. And I think you'll be back in later. And Councillor McKeon, we're still on the recorded the public session at the moment. Is there something you want to ask?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll proceed on to item 2 on the agenda. Do we have anyone in for item 2?
I've not had any contact from the applicant in terms of them joining the meeting, Convener, no.
Okay, Douglas, could you introduce this one?
Thanks, Convener. Yes, this is an application for grant of for renewal of a private hire car operator licence. Shamsha Tashim is the applicant, and it's an existing licence PH1344, which was renewed. This matter was actually continued, Convener, from the August meeting. The vehicle on the application was more than 7 years old, and therefore it was policy. But perhaps more fundamentally, the vehicle, according to correspondence received from the applicant at that time, had been involved in an accident and was no longer available. We haven't had any changed vehicle. As members will appreciate, the board requires to be satisfied that a vehicle is suitable and suitably insured as well before granting application. So, given the matter has been continued before, Convener, I'm happy to pass back to members with that explanation.
Thank you, Douglas. Are there any questions for Douglas on this one? Clearly, we're not in a position to grant it, and it has been continued before. I don't see any. Councillor McFarlane.
Yeah, cheers, Convener. Just very much procedural, and I appreciate it's my first board. Douglas, see if an item's been continued, am I able to be in the meeting at that point, or do I need to leave since I wasn't here the first time round? Just for safety, I suppose. I've not got anything to say specifically
Yeah,
about this.
It's a good question, Councillor McFarlane. If we had actually discussed the merits on the last occasion, then that would be an issue. But where we haven't really discussed the merits, then I mean, I would have been anticipating just hearing the matter afresh today, in all likelihood, you know. But had we essentially heard the case and heard submissions, and then we were taking it from partway through, then obviously you would have to sit out, but we would let you know if that was the case.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, good point. Okay, so in this case, we have continued it to give the applicant an opportunity, and we've had no response to that. Given that we're not in a position to grant, I would move that we refuse the application at this stage. And members agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Takes us on to item 3. Regan Mackay, do we have anyone in for this one?
The applicant had been sent the invite, but again, I've not had any contact that they're joining the meeting. Just before we proceed, sorry, just for completeness, can I just let convener and members know that I did receive apologies from Councillor Montgomery by email earlier, but I hadn't seen it in time to notify you at the start of the meeting. Apologies.
Okay, we'll note that. Douglas, do you want to introduce this, please?
Yes, of course, convener. This is an application where we have cited Regan Mackay. The issues for board today really relate to entitlement to work and the driver's knowledge test. One is a legal matter in terms of changes to the Civic Government of Scotland Act by immigration legislation, and there's reference obviously to the guidance and the face-to-face checks which would be expected to carry out, expected by the Home Office to carry out. So we've indicated we've made endeavours to get the applicant who indicates that she does have entitlement to work, but nonetheless we still have to do a face-to-face check. And to have evidence obtained of that, and that hasn't been possible to do because we haven't, had the applicant make herself available in response to the correspondence. So that essentially prohibits the council from granting a licence unless you're satisfied that the person's not disqualified due to the immigration status. The other matter is one of council policy, convener, to which you could of course make an exception to, and that is in relation to the taxi driver's knowledge test. As you know, as members will know, we normally give them 3 attempts to sit and pass it. In this occasion, the applicant has not made herself available to sit and pass the knowledge test. Therefore, that matter would also be in play, but it's perhaps a secondary matter, convener, given the face-to-face check hasn't been completed yet.
Yes, clearly we're not in a position to grant this one. Do we have time to continue it, Douglas? It looks on the face of it as though the interest has maybe been lost if there's little contact. Do we have time to continue?
We don't really in this occasion, convener, because the application came in on the 31st of March, so it needs a decision within 9 months. We do have a board in a fortnight, but we don't have 14 clear days to send a citation to that one, convener.
Okay, that's helpful. Are there any questions on this one? I think clearly we're not in a position to grant or to continue it, and it appears to me that the applicant has maybe lost interest. So at this stage, I would move that we refuse the application. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. And moving on to item 4A, which is surrender and reissue. Do we have somebody coming in for this one?
Mr. McAnally had joined the meeting prior to its commencement at 10 o'clock, so I'll just try and get him back onto the meeting now, convener.
Okay, thanks. We'll just take a pause on this.
Convener, we've got Mr. Reynolds in the lobby, who's the other applicant for this application. Do you want to admit him, or do you want to hold for a moment or two to see if Mr. McNally's coming on as well?
Are we expecting Mr. McNally? Was he in earlier, did you say?
I'm sure it was Mr. McNally that joined before 10, yeah.
Right. Okay, well, we have proceeded on these and on the basis of maybe one of the applicants coming in. So unless Douglas tells us otherwise, if we can admit Mr. Reynolds, and we'll try and deal with the item.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds. That's you admitted into the meeting. Can you hear us okay?
I can, yes.
Great, thank you. I'll pass you over to the convener.
Good morning, Mr. Reynolds. It's Councillor John McNaughton here. I'm the convener to the board. Do we know, are we expecting Mr. McAnally also, or are you going to present the application?
Well, sorry, did you say you expecting them to go on the group chat here?
Yes, I'm just asking if we're waiting for him, or are you going to deal with the application?
Stephen phoned me about 10 o'clock this morning, and he said that he would be joining, so I don't know if he's having issues trying to get on.
Okay, I'm just going to propose that we proceed with the application, and if we find that we need Mr. McAnally, then we can continue. Douglas, could you introduce the item, please?
Thanks, convener. Yes, this is an application of surrender and reissue of an existing taxi licence, and the applicants are Mr. McAnally and Mr. Reynolds. The only reason that we have stated this one is because the practice is that the proposed incoming licence holder would have had a driver's licence for a period of 2 years. And in this occasion, Mr. Reynolds, who is with you, has obviously had his driver's licence since May 2024, which doesn't meet the 2 years. Mr. McAnally does meet the kind of requirement that the existing operator has held a licence, or the operator licence for 5 years. So it's really purely, convener, an opportunity for Mr. Reynolds today to address the board on why the board should agree the surrender reissue when he hasn't held his driver's licence for a period of 2 years.
Okay, thanks, Douglas. Mr. Reynolds, do you want to address the board in support of your application?
Well, to be honest, when I first started talking to Stevie about the surrender reissue of his plate, who told me he was retired, I knew that I was under the 2 years, but I was told that usually it seems to be the way it can clear for under that time. So really, that's really all I've got to say on that. I wasn't sure at the time it would have been a big issue, but as I say, that's the reason I applied. I think that's Stevie trying to get in touch with me.
Thanks, Mr. Reynolds. I'm just going to open it to questions from the council. So, are there any questions from Mr. Reynolds? I don't see. No, this is for the councillors to ask you, Mr. Reynolds. I don't see anybody indicating it. You're right that we have made exceptions in the past, but it does have to come to the board. We've heard what you've said. I don't see any issues with this one, and I would move that we grant the surrender and reissue. Are members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Just to confirm, Mr. Reynolds, that the application's been granted. If you're looking for any help in terms of vehicles to be put on the licence or anything like that, then obviously get in touch with the Civic Licence Standards Officer at the enforcement mailbox. That concludes the hearing today, though.
Sorry, I've lost the picture somehow, but I can hear you fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
That concludes the hearing.
That's you, Mr. Reynolds. You can leave the meeting now.
Lovely, thank you. Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Okay. Takes us on to item 4B. Douglas, I think this one's an on-site.
It is, convener. The practice is met in this instance.
Okay, are there any questions for Douglas on this one? Don't see any. I would move that we grant the surrender and reissue. Members agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. And at this stage, can we agree to exclude the press and public for the remaining items of business due to the nature of business to be transacted? Members agreed? Thank you. We can stop the recording.